Hi guys, so I thought I'd show you a few more ways to use some little scraps out of your scrap box. If you've been on my channel from the beginning, you've probably seen this little scrap box quite a few times. But last video on my scrap box I showed these little teeny tiny pieces of paper, just that I use them to make little heart envelopes. And if you didn't see that, I'll put the link in the description box below. But I thought I'd show you what I do with these little guys. You know when you trim the edges of paper and you've got these long skinny strips of photocopy paper, then what are you going to do with them? They're so thin. They're a little bit useless, but you end up with so many. And look, they're so nice and coffee dyed, you can't chuck them away. Gotta use them. So one of the things I do with those little ones is I just make little paper band-aids to repair holes in my coffee dyed paper. So you know when you coffee dye your paper, sometimes you get little rips in the side, little teeny ones. And I mean, if it were my journal, that wouldn't bother me, but I don't know, it might bother some people. And if you're selling journals, maybe you don't want to leave a little rip page there. Or another one is because I dry my papers outside on the ground, on the grass. Sometimes if the wind picks up and they go for a little blow around the backyard before I can pick them up, sometimes I get little holes. So that's okay, because look, the whole page is so beautiful. You can't scrap it, you still have to use it. Anyway, so what I do with those little guys is I just take these long thin strips out of my scrap box and I just make little paper band-aids to repair them. And I think they look really cute, especially if you're making a, you know, grungy type of journal. So all I do, I just get one of these strips, and usually I would take a whole big long strip and I would just do a zigzag stitch the whole way down. Oops. The whole way down on my sewing machine, and then just cut them to size as you need them. So you just sew all those big strips and chuck them aside until you coffee dye papers and you need them. And so something like this little rip, so this is a little piece. See, look how coffee dyed that is. That's so dark, you can't chuck that away. So this little guy, I would just pretty much get some glue, any old white glue, and I just fold it over and glue it over like that. Here, let me do it. Oh no, I don't like gluing on camera because I haven't learnt that old less is more. So this is just some white, just ordinary white glue. But just use any glue. Glue stick will even do. White glue, PVA, whatever. Sorry, I'm sniffing again. Okay, and I just fold it over, and you can leave the little threads if you want, and that's all. I just glue it on and fold it over. When it dries, it's nice and sturdy, and sometimes they look more intentional. So this little guy, he's actually got a hole quite far in, so you can like cut two pieces. And this one you'll see that I've inked the edges because it wasn't that dark, this piece. It was coffee dyed, but it wasn't too dark. So I've inked the edges because I want some definition around the edges so it kind of stands out and looks intentional. And this one, you can cut it and put one over the hole, you know, in the middle of the page there, and one on the other side. Oh, there's Clive banging at my door. Or you can just glue it and go the whole way over, which is what I'm going to do with this one. Yeah, even after all these years, I have not learnt less is more. And I have this thing where when I glue something, like I always feel like I need to go right to the edge, you know, so that when I glue it down, it all oozes out the edge, which you don't want, but I can't help it. I need to get to that edge. And I don't backstitch when I sew it because you're going to glue it down anyway, so kind of no point. And that's it. I just repair my little hole. So you've probably seen these in a lot of my journals. And that's all. I just do little paper band-aids to repair them. And I like that if you ink the edges, they kind of look intentional. But don't they look cute? And if you've got long thin strips of scrapbook paper and stuff like that, coloured paper, you can just do the same as well. I don't have any strips of scrapbook paper because I don't use it, but I do sometimes use things like, you know, coffee dyed security envelopes as well, because once you ink the edges and stitch it, it looks intentional, like it's supposed to be there. Anyway, that's it. So don't throw these little thin strips out, just make your own little paper band-aids. That's it. I know that seems a bit dumb, but I thought I'd just show you what I do with them. I don't know what everyone else does with those skinny little kind of strips. They're kind of useless, aren't they? But yeah, like even this little guy I'll use. And if you don't have a sewing machine, you can still ink the edges and just put them down like that because they still stand out and look cute. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.